Hello everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. Here it is, another one of those mid-90s day with horrible humidity. So I've tried to wait till later this afternoon to come up here and do this video, but I probably will sweat, so that's okay. I'm gonna go on and get it done, and I'll try not to move the camera so fast to get it over with like I did yesterday. We're coming up the path, and here's the bed. We call this the pond bed, and that's because we used to have a pond with goldfish in it. But I guess about 6 or 7 years ago, I decided it was getting too much for me to get down on my knees at the edge of the pond and pull the pond pump up and clean all the gook out of the pond. So we gave our fish away to a neighbor up the street that had a pond, and I couldn't tell you how much dirt it took to fill in the pond. It wasn't a huge pond, but it was still a big hole. So we'd had those same fish, I don't know, at least 15 years or more, and the neighbor killed them in 2 months, and that just made me really sad. But you know, what can we do? Here comes baby boy. There's baby boy. He's been visiting, and Rennie, I don't know whether you can hear Ren, we call him Rennie. He's fussing because baby boy is here. But anyway, this is the pond bed, and there's a variety of plants in there. And I've got to straighten up my boy stature there. He's leaning big time, but we've had those, I mean, probably at least 25, 30 years, maybe 35. And this wonderful birdhouse is one we got at a yard sale. And back there, you can see the 3 bowling balls and the bowling pin. And there's a variety of flowers in here. The lilies have all finished blooming, and we have some black-eyed Susans. Back are the Annabelle hydrangeas. Last year were huge, and I don't know for what reason. They just have not come back good this year. Maybe it's the extreme heat we had early on and then all this heat, but they're still alive, so I'm hopeful, and I have fertilized them. But we have coneflowers, creeping thyme, dianthus, ajuga. There's some more black-eyed Susans, and you can see the Asiatic and the Oriental lilies have finished blooming. And this PJM rhododendron has tiny buds coming up. It will bloom again. And back there behind the burgundy bowling ball, that's another waterfall Japanese maple, which I just love. This little shoe shine guy here, this is one that our son gave his dad for Father's Day many years ago when he was very young. And I have this pot sitting in the little bird bath with some petunias and creeping Jenny. Never have got around to dividing that giant kettle of hostas, but I will, maybe this fall. There's lots of periwinkle in this bed. Another beautiful Japanese maple. We'll come back around this side after we go to the right. There's a clematis on this trellis that John made out of copper pipe. Another gorgeous Japanese maples. And you can see the oxalis in the pots up through there. Here's another bird bath and a little garden statue that we got at a yard sale. These are little miniature ferns. I think they're in the Japanese painted fern family, but they're miniature ones. I love those. Over here is another type of a miniature fern that is just about like a ground cover. And here is another pot of pretty flowers, wishbone flowers. I just broke 2 pieces of the Wandering Jew off and put those in it. And then the Creeping Jenny. There's hostas in this little bed here. There's a clematis in this antique planter. You can see there's another gate right there. Another big PJM rhododendron. You can see up there the front of the potting shed. And I'll go all around so you can see it all. There's another pot with pieces that I just broke off from other plants, or they got knocked off. There's more of the Wandering Jew. There's coleus, pieces of begonia, and the purple heart. And they're actually growing. They're taking root without having done anything special. I just poked a hole in the dirt and shoved them in. Another beautiful Japanese maple. A bigger one right here. Look at the sunlight on this one. Isn't it pretty? Got an old lantern hanging in the tree. Sooner or later I'm going to put something in that bird cage. I just hadn't got around to it. Here's a pyrrhus right here. Another PJM rhododendron. There's Missouri sundrops that's already bloomed. And some monkey grass, dwarf monkey grass. Clematis on this trellis and house. John built this arbor, and the giant sweet autumn clematis, you know, it died a couple years ago, and I've been trying to get some pieces to come back, but this heat hadn't helped it. And then there's also some other vines that I'm trying to get established there. Azaleas, a couple more Japanese maples. This little one is a full moon. I just watered some of the things up here. This is an old type of hydrangea, and it has not bloomed in years. This is John's painting station, so his pieces of wood that he lays his projects on, they're always laying there. But that's what he uses, is the trash can, 2 trash cans, and he'll put a piece of cardboard across them. Here's some pulmonary. And it's doing wonderful. As long as you give it enough water, it will do great. Here's a ghost Japanese painted fern. It's a lighter color. Back there's a little azalea. In this bed is where I put some of the plants that we've gotten recently. There's the chives right there. My mind just went. I cannot remember what this is. Ugh, comfrey. I love the leaves on it. And there's a little black-eyed Susan. Another gate. That's the woodland flock. More black-eyed Susans. Coreopsis. Periwinkle. Helleborus. This is the summer phlox. And there's that little cute frog sign that we've had a long time. Cannot remember what this is. Let me see. This is a Heliopsis right there. There's a couple pieces of verbena, superbena, that came back from last year. That's an aster. And that is that beautiful dragon's breath. When I watered it, kind of knocked it over a little bit. There's a perennial geranium. And coneflowers that volunteered themselves out in the gravels. And the big metal flowers are in this bed too. In this little shed that John made is where we keep a lot of the Halloween pieces, the tombstones and so forth. Back here is where I put those two wooden primitive tables. And I have one of the old crates we got at a yard sale on it. Have the old egg baskets, the wire egg baskets under there. Some old tins and birdhouses. And the old gray enamelware. More of the old gray enamelware, and all of that's come from yard sales, as did the door and the shutters. Got an old colander there with some of my clay pots. And this is one of those pretty star colanders, and I just have my plants setting in it. And y'all remember I got that at a yard sale, and I have more of the little clay pots in it. I love these old tables though. I think they're great. And we keep our hose in a wash tub. And up there are some old ice tongs hanging off of that. John keeps a lot of garden tools and painting supplies in this half of the potting shed. And here's another one of those brick sidewalks that he did years ago. And on the potting shed we have some birdhouses, an old mailbox, and John loves old license tags. And he's been putting them on the potting shed when he finds them. And here, this is a cart we bought many years ago at TJ Maxx or Marshall's. We couldn't remember which. And I have some of my old clay pots and old tools and a baby Japanese maple that I'm growing, and a beautiful hosta and a juga, and that pretty copper watering can, and an old scratcher tool. And this table came from TJ Maxx many years ago. And just have a couple old birdhouses on it. The windows in the shed, our friend that's no longer with us that gave us the porch posts and built many of the birdhouses and so many other treasures we have, he gave us those two windows when we were building the potting shed. And I have a big asparagus fern that I take in and out. And here's a cat we rescued. Baby boy loves to sleep in his chair. I told you he has many places he likes to nap. And the wren is still fussing at him. Even though he's laying perfectly still, he fusses at him all the time. And there is a peg rack John made, and he used old doorknobs and some clock face drawer pulls, and it's got some old garden utensils on it. And there's that wreath that I got at a yard sale this year. And this has Creeping Jenny, a couple pieces of the Purple Heart, and then that is mint, one of the mints. Can't remember which one though. I love this hosta right here. I think that's a really pretty one. And over here, this is that, I have no idea what it was originally. It was pointy, and so we couldn't get it to hang straight, so I set it down in this holder, and I planted a mandevilla in it. It's a white mandevilla. Okay, over here, this is the end of the summer room. John made that flag several years ago. The potting shed sign, I believe that came from Michael's. And y'all might remember this beautiful piece here with a little tin roof and a tin back. That came from a yard sale, and I just love that. The metal moon came from a yard sale, as did the rustic welcome sign. I have a tub, a little oval wash tub is on the chair, and my plants got beat up from the rain we got, which I told you I'm thankful for the rain. And this is the European baby bathtub, and that has bubble gum and verbena in it. And we'll go this way in just a minute, but I want to there's that wonderful pole. I want to get over here so you can see this bed right here to my left. I don't think I showed you that yesterday. We got that little piece last year at a yard sale. It has a little spigot on it. And there you can see the chair and how that looks up through there. The oxalis love it under here. They have done so well. And I take those in the garage during the winter too. They die completely back, and once it warms up a little bit, I start watering them and they come right back. And y'all know I love bee things. Another beautiful hosta. These flagstone pieces, we got those for free at a yard sale. Somebody wanted to get rid of them. There's a view from up here. And I usually put an ivy in that, but I haven't got to that either. Another old headboard, metal headboard right there. And there's the baby stroller with a mandevilla in it. And this was an ice cream parlor chair on this end and that end with the beautiful geraniums in it. And some old tools hanging off the headboard. This is another chair that came from a yard sale. And this is a house John built, and I decorated it like a little country store many, many years ago, back in our craft show days. All of these in the path, I let them grow because you couldn't dig them out because the ground's so hard, and I'll collect the seeds when they die. This big pot here, this is a pot of wildflower seeds that I planted. This is its third season that things have come back, and I just love it. I know they're a type of Rudbeckia, but they're bigger than the ones we have out front. All of this over here in this bed, this is gooseneck loosestrife. There's the little stool. And this pot and that big planter right beside it, those are all from wildflower seeds the same time. This is its third season. And these are usually loaded with big yellow blooms too. You can see some of them. And there's a big Cosmo gonna bloom. And then I have another mandevilla hanging off of that antique plant hanger. We'll walk down through here. Like I said, these have been coming back. And you can see I'm gonna have lots of seeds. And there's lots more to bloom. And the bees love it. This planter box on the legs is one John got out of the trash several years ago. Another old birdhouse. And right here, you can see behind them, there are some children's tools hanging, but they've got so tall and the old cabbage chopper and the old rake. They're hiding my children's tools. And there's the old saw. Lots of things we got from yard sales. All those laundry tubs. The Smith Brothers sign is a new sign, but I love it, and that came from a yard sale. Lots more clay pots. This potting bench was one we bought many, many years ago at a store, and we had to put it together, and then John stained it with the blue stain. And then he sealed it when we decided to put it outside several years ago. But it's a great place to hold a lot of my supplies. And up there's the horse or oxen thing. Can't remember which. Y'all know I'm a city chick. And I love that little cherub right there. Another vintage wire milk crate. This was a gift from Janet several years ago. This had bulbs in it. And there are some succulents. And then you can see over there is the woodland garden. So I hope you've enjoyed this garden tour. I'm going to do the patio area, and the back deck will be the next video. So love and blessings to y'all from me and John and baby boy. We'll see you again soon. Till the next time, bye-bye.